exciting, thank you. So I have an idea. I'm going to try something a little different today and maybe do a talk about data. Because you guys all know that we are firmly living in the era of big data. And for most of us, that data is being generated constantly by this web of devices around us that we affectionately refer to as the Internet of Things. It's become a catch-all phrase that means, smart devices with sensors connected to the internet that creates data, delivers signals, sends signals all around us, from your playlist to what you ate for breakfast, to how you slept last night, to the weather outside, to the traffic on your way to work. The idea is that we can seamlessly move through the world and connect to all of these devices. The reality is it's a bit of a jumble right now. And in truth, these devices are becoming connected, generating updates, generating meaning theoretically for us. Most of them are not really that smart yet. One of my favorite devices is the Nest thermostat. I love it. It can control the temperature in my environment, but it actually has no idea what's going on with me, right? It has no idea if I'm hot or I'm cold. And if I'm hot, am I hot because I went for a run? Am I hot because it's too hot in the room? Or am I hot because I'm getting the flu? So all of this, data, we're left with tons of data generated by millions of devices, but we don't really know what to do with it all. And so we need to find a way to take all that big data and make it relevant and make it meaningful to you and to me. So how do we make sense of it all? Well, one thing it all has in common, at least for most of us who are very me-centric, is that it is all about you. These devices are on your body, like my upband, in your home, like your thermostat, in your environment, lights, whatever it is. They should be learning about you, adapting to you, trying to help you achieve your personal goals. At Jawbone, we believe that you are the organizing principle of the Internet of Things, so we like to call it the Internet of You. Now, my Nest thermostat and my upband can talk to each other and both become more useful for it. So when I'm falling asleep, my thermostat can automatically adjust the temperature to the right temperature in my room for sleeping at night. So we will truly make these things smart by helping them to talk to each other, building in the intelligence that will improve our health and well-being. That's what Jawbone's most interested in. So we have a saying at Jawbone, data is good, but understanding is better. So how do we take all of this stuff and apply data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence to really drive key insights and then deliver them to you at the right moment in time, in the right tone of voice, where the context is relevant to help you guide your actions and make smarter choices? Well, we think with wearables at the center of this Internet of Things, right, the first hurdle is getting them on your body. And so it becomes really critical that we make things that are small, that are unobtrusive, that are beautiful, that are comfortable, because if we can't get you to wear them, then we can't derive all of this data that I've been talking about and help put it to work for you in your environment. So we've made this family of products from Up Move to Up 2, 3, and 4, which we actually just announced yesterday, that are packed with sensors. I'm going to do a whole bunch of new things to help you live a better life. And so, getting them on your body 24 hours a day is really important. Hopefully they blend in seamlessly with your look. You feel really comfortable about them. So now we've got them there. What happens next? Hopefully we can do something with all this data that we're gathering every day and throughout the night. Well, first we can start to organize it, and we can tell some pretty interesting stories about how we're living as a population. This is pretty cool. But in an anthropological kind of way. It tells a story about how people are sleeping around the world and reveals things we couldn't previously have known because we just don't have data about how people sleep every single night. Turns out New York is not actually the city that doesn't sleep. That prize goes to Tokyo. Tokyo dwellers get, on average, under 6 hours of sleep a night, which, by the way, is really bad for your performance during the day. But to get really personal, so interesting, cool, we're all, geeking out on learning this stuff, but we have to get closer if we want to get really personal. So here, we looked at bedtimes throughout the US by county, and you can start to see how time zones affect when we go to sleep. Our bodies want to follow the natural circadian rhythms, but the clock tries to convince us to do something else. And you can see this, and I think it's really fascinating, but like if you look where the Eastern time zone goes through Kentucky and Tennessee, you can have neighbors on the same street, or down the block from each other that are literally on one side or the other of the time zone change in the United States. And you can see by the colors on the chart that they're getting less sleep or they're going to bed later than their neighbors right down the block. So we have these artificial systems that are kind of impacting what time we go to bed and how much sleep we're getting. So again, cool, but it starts to get really, really exciting when we can start to see things as they're happening. And we can only see them because I can put this device on your body that's monitoring you all the time, and hopefully you're willing to wear it. But what we saw last year was the Napa earthquake. And we actually saw it in the sleep data as it was happening. Now, it's probably not surprising that people woke up when they were close to the epicenter or in these counties surrounding when the earthquake happened. What we also saw that we never would have known before is that the closer you were to the epicenter, the longer it took you to get back to sleep, or in lots of cases, people just never went back to sleep after that. So again, this is fascinating in sort of a nerdy data science kind of way. People like me at my company were all like, oh my God, we saw the earthquake, this is amazing. But it's still kind of dinner party conversation, I would say. We're not yet at the level of behavior change. So how do we take this and turn all of this data, like I said, into understanding, into meaning that makes it personal for you and something that you can take action on? And so this is where the real magic happens. We have a system called Smart Coach. And Smart Coach is quite literally what we think is a coach that is imbued with all of this intelligence based on the data that we're gathering and the rest of the data in the system. So your personal information, as well as the aggregate information of the entire UP community. So we correlate it to data streams that people are getting, women like you in their 30s, men like you in this county or in this city, and other streams that come in. Your phone tells your GPS, of course, what time it is, other things you're interacting with, and we can use that to start to apply the data science as well as behavioral science, psychology, and frankly, a team of writers who has to figure out how to feed all this information back to you to help you make behavior change. So here's kind of how it works. Smart Coach starts by crunching all your data. It's not just telling you, duh, you gotta get to bed earlier, you don't get enough sleep, because frankly, we probably mostly know that. But it's starting to show you the impact of your data. In this case, if you go to sleep 30 minutes earlier, you tend to walk more the next day. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Many of us may know that we should get more sleep, yet we've still got this challenge because I know I should go to bed, but I'm not doing it. There's this gap between my intention to make good choices and my actions. And typically that's because life gets in the way, or scandal gets in the way, or a couple more emails get in the way. And you should go to bed, but just a little longer, just a little longer. So this is where a message sent to you at the right moment in time, in context, in the right tone of voice, can really have an impact. And Smart Coach is that intelligent system that we've been building to do that. Through our testing and studies, we've actually seen that it works. We are helping people to get 23 minutes on average more sleep a night and move about 25% more during the day. Okay, that's good. But even more important than the what that we are helping make this behavior change is how do you do that, right? How do you take, like I said, data science, pair it up with behavioral science, psychology, and editorial, because tone and delivery are so critical in us, in our ability as humans to accept and react to suggestions. So in the world of Smart Coach, that means putting this behavioral science to work. It can be as simple as how we frame a suggestion. And that's a concept called reactance. And essentially what that means is if I tell you you must do something, as humans, we're saying, who are you to tell me, right? I thank you for the suggestion, but I'll make my own choices. If I suggest that you have a choice in the matter, might you consider going to bed earlier tonight? then we're much more willing to take and make the positive decision. We'll make a good decision. We know what the good decision is. We just need to be offered it up in that form. And that's actually a behavioral economic theory called commitment and constancy. And in the essence of that, it's the simple act of opting into something, of saying, yep, I'll do that thing today. I'll do that one small thing, then helps keep us accountable and keeps us honest. And it really is having an effect, as I mentioned before. In our system, people who opt into these little challenges that we call today, I will, and say, I will go to bed earlier, or I will take more steps today, or I will drink more water today, are doing it. They're going to bed 23 minutes earlier, and 72% of them are hitting their sleep goals, which is kind of awesome and remarkable. Because I don't know about you guys, but I don't know anybody who's like, I sleep plenty. I'm good. I'm well rested all the time. The Smart Coach is smart enough to even recognize now that sometimes we need a little bit of help, and this is something that Jawbone's really passionate about, which is the idea of kind of a platform or an ecosystem. There's no way that we can do it all ourselves. So Smart Coach readily collaborates with other trainers, other apps. I mentioned Nest before, how we work together to help make your environment better and put all of this data into meaning and put it to work for you. So if, for example, you're looking for someone to get a better workout routine, you know that you're struggling to get enough activity in every day, then Smart Coach will recommend personal coaching services through the Jawbone Marketplace. And those will be kind of unique to your needs. Do you want something you can do on your iPad in a hotel room, or do you want live training, one-on-one, over the internet in the mornings? So we'll help you find that, and then the data is exchanged so both your live coach and Smart Coach can be better and help you achieve your goals faster and really help you succeed. So by leveraging this computational power to understand each person better and employing behavioral science techniques, Smart Coach is guiding us towards making these healthier decisions. The more you use up to track your daily lifestyle, the more Smart Coach can put all of that information to work for you. So I'll just leave you with one more thought, which is, what else can we do together? What other ideas can we come up with to leverage more signals, more sensor technology, more Internet of Things, hardware, software devices out there to help people make smarter decisions and live a little bit better every single day?